Hello everyone, my name is Rahul. In the previous video we had discussed about phylum Hemichordata. In this video we are going to discuss about phylum Chordata. Phylum Chordata is a group of triploblastic bilaterally symmetrical organisms which have a organ system level of organization. They have a tube within tube body plan and they have a enterocoelom type of eucoelom. They have an enterocoelom type of eucoelom. Now, the special characteristics are there is presence of a structure known as notochord, due to which the phylum gets its name Chordata. Notochord is a solid rod-like structure seen in embryo of chordates. Notochord, it is mesodermal in origin. It arises from mesoderm and it plays important role in organization of nervous system. Apart from supporting the body, it plays an important role in organization of the nervous system. Then there is also dorsal hollow nerve cord. Dorsal hollow nerve cord. In non-chordate group of animals, the nerve cord is ventral and it is solid. In case of chordates, the nerve cord is dorsal and it is hollow. There is presence of pharyngeal gill slits at some point during their lifetime. At some point during their lifespan, which means these may be present in the embryo, these may be present in the adults, these may be present in the larva. So in case of lower chordates, pharyngeal gill slits are present throughout life, and in cases of fishes they are also present throughout life, whereas in case of other chordates such as terrestrial chordates, pharyngeal gill slits are later replaced by lungs. They are replaced by lungs in terrestrial chordates. Chordates have a post-anal tail, which means the tail will be located after anus. Chordates usually have a closed type of circulatory system. Now, this is the basic organization of a chordate's body. You can see on the back side, on the dorsal side, there is a hollow nerve cord. Below the hollow nerve cord, there is presence of notochord. Below the nerve cord, there is presence of notochord. And the gill slits are present. These are the gill slits which help in respiration. So in case of fishes and lower chordates, these gill slits will persist throughout their life, whereas we have already discussed that in case of terrestrial chordates, the gill slits will be replaced by lungs. So this is the basic organization of a chordate's body. Now, this is a very important table which shows us the comparison of chordates and non-chordates. So the phylum Chordates gets its name due to the presence of notochord, whereas notochord will be absent in non-chordates. Now, we have seen that in phylum Hemichordata, there is a notochord-like structure present which is called as stomochord or buccal diverticulum, but it is not a true notochord. In case of chordates, the central nervous system is dorsal, hollow and single, which means the nerve cord which we are seeing here, this is a hollow nerve cord, and there is a single nerve cord which is present. Single nerve cord is present. Whereas in case of non-chordates, we have seen that many of the phylum have this sort of arrangement of their nerves in which there were two ganglia and there were associated nerves. So non-chordates have a central nervous system which is ventral, solid and double, whereas in case of chordates it is dorsal, hollow and single. Now, pharynx is perforated by gill slits, that is, gill slits are present in pharynx which provide a connection between pharynx and external environment and help in exchange of gases. So, in case of chordates, there will be gill slits, and gill slits are not seen in case of non-chordates. In case of chordates, gill slits will be present at least at some point during their lifetime, which may be during the embryonic stage, which may be due to during their adult stage. But in case of non-chordates, the gill slits will always be absent. There will never be presence of gill slits. Heart is ventral in case of chordates. Ventral and dorsal we can understand that towards the abdomen we can say is ventral and towards the back side is dorsal. So in case of non-chordates, heart is located dorsally, that is towards the back side, and in case of chordates, heart is located ventrally, that is towards the abdomen in the front. A tail is seen in case of chordates and tail is absent in case of non-chordates. Now the presence of tail is the weakest feature of chordates because there are some chordates such as frog where the possibility of getting a tail is very difficult. It is very difficult to identify the presence of tail. So either way, tail is present in chordates and it is absent in non-chordates. Even if we cannot appreciate a proper tail, there will be presence of tailbone. There will be presence of tailbone in chordates. If we cannot appreciate the tail, we should look for tailbone. We will see tailbone in chordates, but there will be no tail, and there will also be no tailbone in case of non-chordates. Now, coming on to the classification of chordates, chordates can be classified into two groups. One group is called as acraniata. Acraniata, as the name suggests, it lacks skull. There, which means that skull is absent in case of these animals, and craniata means that will be skull will be present. Acraniata are also known as protochordates. Acraniata are also known as protochordates, and it includes two subphylums. It includes two subphylums. One is known as Urochordata and the other is known as Cephalochordata. So subphylum Urochordata and subphylum Cephalochordata are subphylum under chordates and they belong to Protochordata or Acraniata. Craniata are again divided into two groups, which is Agnatha and Gnathostomata. Agnatha means there is no jaw. Jaw is absent, which therefore the term agnatha, and gnathostomata means jaw is present. So agnatha includes agnatha includes class Cyclostomata. Class Cyclostomata is included in agnatha, and Gnathostomata is again divided into two superclass. One is Pisces, basically are fishes. Pisces are fishes, and superclass Tetrapoda. Tetrapoda means four limbs. Four limbs. Fishes are again divided into two categories. One is known as cartilaginous fishes, and other are bony fishes. which we will see later on are called as chondrichthyes and osteichthyes respectively. In tetrapoda, we have amphibians, reptiles, aves, which are basically birds, and mammals. So this is the classification of chordates. With this, we are finished with phylum Chordata. See you in the next video.